There we go. I hope that worked. No, probably. Yeah, I guess that did work. Hi, everybody. Tracy Hickman here. I am not at Mythos Games, as you can undoubtedly tell. I am, in fact, at home, trying to figure out how to get on the chat. Again, I have to ask Laura. Laura. Yeah, I am. I'm calling you. I'm sorry. I can't remember how to get into the chat. I mean, you know,
Restream?
there's good. Yeah, I'm trying to because I just don't know how. Hello, Deja Vu. I can see you.
You need the password?
Yes, apparently, and whatever email I use for this thing.
I don't know.
Oh, never mind. Laura will go find out about this, and Laura will figure it out, and that's very good. Hello, everybody. Yes, hello, Byron. Thank you for thank you, everyone, for joining us here this evening. Like I say, we're not at Mythos this evening. It's been a kind of a strange week this week. Okay, Laura's working on it. Okay. I'm not for that matter even sure where to begin, except that we delivered a birthday present over to our daughter's house for our one of our wonderful grandchildren, and afterwards, what do you got?
Well, you don't have to go into the whole story.
No, I won't go into the whole story. Okay, we were exposed to COVID last Saturday.
Apparently not badly because
we're fine, yeah.
We had to wait.
But we're doing the 5-day wait thing, so we're like in quarantine. Sort of, yes, in quarantine. All of which was really wonderful because on the same day I chipped a tooth, and I've been trying to get to a dentist, but I can't. Anyway, so that's why we're not at Mythos this evening, because we're doing the... that's what I thought it was. Okay. Well, here, let's see if I can get this to work. Oops, wait a minute. Okay, now I have to do the click on every bus picture thing. Here's a bus.
Hello, everyone.
There's Laura saying hello to everyone. Yep. Let's see. Oh, there's another bus. Another bus. I've run out of buses.
Yay.
Oh, see. Oh, now, sure, you came in and now it works.
Hey, that's the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, that is probably the first time that's ever happened. So, and Laura says goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
A musical goodbye. Absolutely. Okay, so, oh, and see, it looks like we're here just fine. So, anyway, it's been a really crazy kind of a week here as we've been trying to get things done. But there's a lot, not only are we here quarantining, but of course, since all of our work is here, we get to do all of our work at home. And much of that has been involved with the Void this week, as I've been working with them to get everything ready as we move forward. Very exciting things going on over there and very innovative things I'm very excited about. But I've had to be working on some presentation materials and some organizational stuff over there this week, especially with some new designs and things that we've been working on. And also, of course, in my other spare time, I've been working on, excuse me, I've been working on Sky Raiders with Laura. And Laura has been actually doing a lot of writing here this week on some of the ancestries and the background ancestries for the various peoples in the world that we encounter in Alberax and will be player characters in our game. And then we'll be moving on here to the cultures and working through the cultures as well, the different locations and the societies and religions and politics of the Alberax coast, which also very much impact characters. So we've been working on that as well. And also, I have to admit to all of you, hello, Paul John's Life. Welcome to the stream here today. And also, we've been. I have to admit the confession here from me to all of you. Our son, Jared Hickman, who's currently working in cybersecurity up at Hill Air Force Base, was down here this last weekend and introduced us. Actually was here a couple of weeks before that and introduced me to Stardew Valley on our Nintendo Switch. And you know, I wish I could say that I can put it down, but I can't. There was, in fact, a rather famous incident here at our home, something of a warning bell, I guess you might say, when I looked up, asked my dear sweet wife what time it was, and she said it was 2 a.m. and I was still planting rutabagas in Stardew Valley. So I do admit that I do have something of a monkey on my back when it comes to Stardew Valley, and but we're handling it. There are programs for this, I believe. It's been a lot of introspection and self-help, but I'm now limiting my Stardew Valley time in the evenings. It has also helped that Laura and I both are doing co-op gaming now, and so it works as something of a check on all of that. So for all of you out there, just be aware that Stardew Valley is just a really fun game. I'm sorry, it just is. Yes. So Rembrandt, welcome to this evening. It's good to see you, and you're from Maine. I'm wondering where from in Maine. Where are you located in Maine? I mean, Laura and I have very fond memories, actually, of Maine. We visited Maine some years ago, and went up the coast down east. Yes, thank you, Deja Vu. Yes, addiction is a difficult thing. So Rembrandt, you're in Augusta. Excellent. Yeah, we went up the coast and ended up in Camden at a really wonderful bed and breakfast there called the Norumbega. Grand old Victorian mansion there north of the middle of Camden. And in fact, it very much inspired us. We actually started a book series there that was featured Camden. The first book was called Unwept, and the second book was called Unhonored. We haven't gotten to finish the second book or the third book just yet, But yes, we absolutely loved Camden. In fact, one of my favorite stories about Camden was we had asked in town where a good place a really good place for lobster. And I mean, if you're in Maine, you really do need lobster. Um, yes, I know Mount Batty well, which, by the way, is just was just west of the Norumbega. Drove up to the top of Mount Batty, and enjoyed the lookout view from there. But anyway, we had asked in town where a good place to go, where there was a good place to go for lobster, and they said, well, just follow this road, and then you need to turn left at the Belted Galloways. And I said, well, what's a Belted Galloway? And they just laughed and said, oh no, you'll know. Just turn left at the Belted Galloways. Okay, well, those were the instructions we had, and so off we went. We went down the road that evening, and sure enough, we were driving along this curve in the road, and we looked over onto the left, and there was a field, off to the right, and there was a field over there full of cows, full of cattle, and all of the cattle, they were dark in the front and dark in the back, and right in the middle there was like this stripe that went around the middle of the cows, and Belted Galloways. And we actually turned at the cows, and sure enough, did find a really great lobster place that way. Yeah, I love Maine. I love the light in Maine. I love the people in Maine, and for many, many years, I actually carried a picture with me, of all things, of a McDonald's drive-through menu board, because it listed one of the entries, one of the things that you could order in the Maine McDonald's drive-through was a lobster roll. Now, I don't think it was the best lobster roll that was around, and in fact, my wife, we found a really wonderful place that had some of the just outstanding lobster roll that was there. But just the idea that a McDonald's drive-through, you could order a lobster roll, it still amazes me. I've got the picture around here somewhere. I should find it. So anyway, so we do love Maine, and many other places, of course, that we get to visit. We're pretty excited this week about a couple of things, actually. One was the GenCon convention in Indianapolis, which will be held the first part of August this year. Laura and I will both be at the convention this year, and live and in person, especially because we're going to be premiering the new Dragonlance book at the first of the new Dragonlance books at that convention, Dragons of Deceit, that Margaret and I are very, very excited about getting out to everybody. In fact, we've got a pretty oh, thank you, Sir Rembrandt. Yes, we very much enjoyed our trip, and yes, truthfully, I wish my own local McDonald's had lobster roll, no matter what the condition, and they're not bad. Thanks. Anyway, we'll be going to the GenCon convention this year, which is the first part of August. Margaret Weiss and I will both be there, and we even have a special program. Oh, thank you, Sir Rembrandt, for pre-ordering the book already. We even have a special program that we're going to be running at GenCon on the very first day at 8 o'clock in the morning, where everybody that comes to that event, the event is a charged event, and we charge money for people to come to the event. And I think it's probably one of the most expensive events at GenCon. But included with the price in the event includes a copy of the book, a hardback copy of the new Dragonlance book, which everyone who comes to this event is going to receive a couple of hours before anybody at the convention gets to buy one. Margaret and I are going to be there. We're going to do a special program for everybody who comes and gets the very first books, those first edition books at the convention, and also some special giveaways that we're going to be giving to people at that event. I'll be there, and Margaret will be there. Laura will be there, of course, and I believe a few other interesting celebrities are going to be showing up for that event too. We'll also be doing a reading from the book at that event. So that event's going to be really exciting. The other thing that we're doing at GenCon this year is the return of Killer Breakfast. And Killer Breakfast is one of my favorite events. It's an event that we used to do every year. And in fact, let's see if I can find the link here. Why, sure enough, here it is. Wow, it's on Bing.com videos. Seriously? I did not even know that you could find it there. Let's see. Oh, here it is, the safety presentation on YouTube. And oh, okay. Well, I can't actually show it to you here, but I will share the link here to our friends, to you, and the YouTube video that shows us that has the safety presentation. It tells you everything you need to know about Killer Breakfast. Killer Breakfast is one of my favorite events. Laura and I do Killer Breakfast every year. We run a role-playing game for about actually for an audience of about 1,000 people. And oh, that's wonderful. Paul John's Life played Killer Breakfast long ago. How was it? How did you do in your Killer Breakfast? Excuse me. Anyway, people come in the audience. They come up and play. There's like 6 to 8 people at a time that come up on stage, and they sit down at the table, and they all get a first level character to whom they have no emotional attachment whatsoever. And then they face monsters that will kill them on an initiative roll alone. And the only thing that keeps them alive from moment to moment, from one round to the next round, is if they do something incredibly brave or incredibly stupid, foolish, which is often the same thing, or they do something that is extremely entertaining. And the moment that their character's death is more entertaining than they are, well, they die. And then they get up from the table and they get off the stage, and then someone sits down in their place. And when someone new sits down in their place, they have to explain to me, the great dungeon master, how they came into the story at that particular moment. And if their explanation isn't very good, then they die and they go away and somebody else sits in their place. And we do this 2 hours of improv. We do folk songs that I've rewritten lyrics to, and we do Laura does Lara Quest little side games, wonderful side games, and we give away prizes. It's this huge, just crazy show. Apparently, Paul John's life was very entertaining because he lasted quite a while. And congratulations to you for doing so. So we're also going to do Killer Breakfast. This is the first time we've actually done Killer Breakfast for a number of years. It's been a while since we've been back to GenCon between of course, COVID and just the opportunity to get back to the show. So we're very excited about going to GenCon. We are also, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you still have the character sheet around somewhere, most likely, because we sign all of the character sheets, especially the unjustly demised part. I love signing those. So we're going to be doing, oh yeah, I had a great time. So we're going to be doing the convention at GenCon this year. We're also going to go up to Seattle, and we'll be doing Emerald City Con up there. Where hopefully we'll be able to, we're going to try to stream Dragonhearth live from that convention, from Emerald City Con. If we can't stream it live, then we'll broadcast it later. But I do want to try and stream live from Emerald City Con. If I can stream live from GenCon, I'll try to do that as well. And then after that, we are going to be going to Atlanta for DragonCon, where we'll be appearing there and visiting our in all the madness that DragonCon is, and visiting our good friends down there. So that's a lot of conventions this year, but we're very excited to see all of our friends, and to see all of you that can make it to those. There is also, we're very, very excited. I believe that in the next week, there's going to be a release of the first excerpt from our Dragons of Deceit novel. The publisher and Margaret and I, we've all talked about it and decided that next week would be a really great time to release that, to give that first excerpt release. I'm going to actually be working on reading that at some point, and hopefully being able to post it here on our channels, our Restream channels. So you can look for that here in the next couple of weeks as well. So, like I say, there's an awful lot that's going on right now. In fact, in many ways, too much stuff, because other than Stardew Valley, which represents my escape from time to time, there's so many other things that I would love to get back to. My amazing Starship Enterprise is still waiting to be completed, and I definitely want to get to that. My son gave me a really great model, 2001 model that I haven't even begun yet. Gave me that for my birthday last year, and I've just been dying to get to that one as well. So hopefully, as we get a few of these things completed and off my plate, I'll be able to get back to those and get those finished. One thing I have enjoyed, though, has been my 3D printer that my wife gave me at Christmas time, and I think I mentioned that. Game inserts are kind of my secret passion, for whatever reason. So for just a minute, okay, bear with me. I want to show you my latest game insert, because if this program were not boring enough, we're about to hit that point. Just a moment here. Pull it off the shelf over here. I was going to show everybody this tonight anyway. This is my Star Trek Ascendancy game that was given to me for my birthday. And let's see if I can actually show this. And if it all falls out, it'll be great television, great video. Here. So I'll take the lid off. Here. Take all of the books out so I can show this well, properly to you, or at least I hope I get that properly to you. Oh my goodness. Anyway, here it is. The incredible insert, because this contains not only the basic game, but it has every expansion that currently exists. And in fact, it wasn't not long after I actually got all of this built, was so proud of getting it all in the box that I was told they're making more expansions. So it's not going to fit in the box the way it did before. But it even has, it comes, I even made this cute little dice rolling table, or dice rolling box. Dice box. It all fits in here beautifully. And I'm just very, very proud of my box. So, we are going to be a little bit short this evening here because, of course, we're not doing a game this evening. I'm perfectly fine, and Laura is perfectly fine. It's just that we want to be safe, and we don't want to be a problem for anybody else, of course. So we are following the rules and just quarantining here the required period of time, and we'll get back at it here shortly. We'll also let everybody know, by the way, next week when that excerpt is going to be released. Let's see. Deja Vu wants to know: would it be possible to get what some of the more common low-level monsters on Alberax are? Are we looking? Go at like goblins and such, or more like bandits and such? Yes. I think that Alberax is an interesting place. The island of Alberax is an interesting place. The eastern end of the island, of course, was largely prison areas and prison locations that were administered by the Imperium a couple of hundred years before, when the ships stopped coming. Alberax has quite a history just here in the coast, where a lot of the prisoners and a lot of the former keepers, wardens, essentially, of the prisons, all had to deal with that abandonment and survival, and it has all, of course, over the intervening couple of centuries, grown somewhat. However, there's a vast majority of this particular island that is untamed and very dangerous, and only recently, aside from defending themselves on the western borders, only recently has any real effort been made to move very far inland on that side, or to explore that side very much. The advent of the aeroships, or of aeroships being for our characters to be able to use and fly to the west, undoubtedly is going to open up more opportunities and more areas for exploration. But I do believe that the western part of the island is going to be, you're going to be finding a more diverse types of opponents on the western side. And in fact, Laura was just telling me the other day about who had originated on the western side, and where the constructions and the ruins on that side of the island had come from, and why they were there. I guess that's kind of a long answer for you, Deja Vu, but I think that you're going to find that there's a mixture, really, very much in that. And there's a lot of diversity actually just in the eastern end of the island anyway. Our player classes, let's see, they include, is there a native race to Alberax? Yes, there is, although the answer to that is pretty complicated and very deep. On the as far as those on the eastern end, those are the descendants of the prisoners and the prison system there. There are, of course, humans, but there are a couple of different cultures among the humans on the eastern end of the island. There are, of course, the Barong, who are a new race, a new ancestry. I don't much care for the term race. But the Barong are a new ancestry. Then there are also ogres, who are very different in our world, and who are also player characters or player ancestries. There's the Fae, and tieflings, and halflings and dragonborn, but the three of those are very different than, at least I think, than you may be used to or expect. Dragon Knight wants to know, are there any creature monsters that won't be in Alberax? Yes, actually, no vampires in the world, at least as far as I know. I've never met one here. But yes, there are a number of creatures that won't be here, but there are also a number of new creatures that will be. Just because I want to make sure that it all makes sense in the setting. Vampires just don't make sense. But then, of course, as you know, Laura and I have our very own ideas about vampires, and that vampires need to be in their own setting. It's actually one of the reasons that we wrote Ravenloft in the first place, was to provide a setting in which vampires made sense. Yes, not every monster, not every creature that you see in the DMG will be there, but there certainly will. There's certainly going to be many of them that are there. Their history may be very different. Their culture may be different than you expect. And that too is pretty exciting for me. It makes for a very rich world setting. And one of the reasons that I'm so very excited about this. We are working very hard on it, but but unfortunately there's only so many hours in the day, and so we're trying to make our deadlines and stay on track. But if any of that changes, we certainly will keep everybody up to date and keep everybody informed. Kim Borey is very good about making sure that we get our updates out. And actually, I'm pretty excited. There's been some really exciting things happening with the app lately. I can't quite share them with you now, but I'm hugely encouraged about them, and look forward to discussing them with you here just as soon as we've got it locked down and we're sure about where we're going with that. It's news that you're really going to enjoy and like. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to share with you this evening. Anybody else have any other questions that you'd like to get answered tonight? Laura and I are really grateful that all of you have been joining us here and enjoying our adventures. I am sorry that we didn't have adventure for you here this evening, but we certainly will next week, and look forward to sharing that with you as well. And like I say, we're looking forward to an excerpt from our book, from the new Dragonlance book coming out very soon, and we'll let you know as soon as that's up and available for you. So that all being said, I think it's probably time for me to say goodnight to everybody, and we'll stay safe. We'll and do our best to be well. Our thoughts continue toward the people in Ukraine and their struggle there. We are really grateful for their tremendous valiance in what they're in what they're doing, and pray for their support and for their strength. But mostly, we pray that they will achieve peace, and hope we can do everything we can to help that. And thank you all for joining us. Thank you for the great comments that we've had here this evening. And we look forward to seeing everybody here again next week. As my wife likes to remind me, click like, subscribe, and we look forward to seeing everybody here again next week on Dragonhearth Live. Thanks, everybody, and have a really great evening. Good night, all.